one of the first movies that really got me into this is Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I was really huge on it. I started with the movie, and then
wait, your movie you mean
Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson?
No,
the original
anime, yes.
Anime version.
The anime, not the Scarlett Johansson one.
Yeah.
Don't.
Hi, welcome back to Clinically Awesome. My name is Soma.
My name is Michael.
And my name is Marc.
Okay, today we have somebody very, very interesting. Do you like cyberpunk image or cyberpunk illustration? Or practically anything that deals with the cyberpunk genre or the steampunk genre or this and that? You are the right episode today. Mr. Marc Tan here, he is going to do a self-introduction of himself, and let's hear more from him.
Okay, so my name is Marc. So I mostly do a lot of cyberpunk illustrations, as well as recently I got into 3D model making. So I'm mostly looking into getting assets from Cyberpunk 2077, and then just trying to make up some artworks from that. I'm closely working with my friend who mostly comes up with the concept designs, and I refine the art from there. So yeah, basically that's what I do. You can find me on Instagram. I mostly post my artwork there. Yeah.
As you can see from below, that is Marc's Instagram. You all can go there and follow him. So Michael, you know what the theme Cyberpunk is about, right?
No, I don't play. I heard about it because there's this hype. I mean, for the past 2. Is it the game released last year?
A few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Caused a lot of big issues.
Because there's a lot of glitch, there's a lot of bugs, everything, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
No, I tried downloaded it. I played, but I couldn't. It's something like GTA.
It's something that is the type of genre where not much people is, we're willing to go into, because there's a lot of time investment into it, because you need to know the law. And then Cyberpunk, this theme, right? Right now, correct me if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
It's actually a theme that was combobulated up during the old 1980s. You know, Hong Kong, there's this thing called 九龙城寨. The Kowloon War District.
Oh, okay, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That because of the influence of architecture, mechanical and neon lights, right? That caused this influx of artists who go over there and create their own design. Like a few animation that is very well known on Akira.
Yes.
Okay.
Akira.
Okay.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yes.
And Gangmeng.
So you mean all these elements and essence is being injected into this particular game?
Oh no, they are considered cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is more of like integration between human and mechanical.
Oh yes.
Yeah, do you know like Terminator, right?
Yes.
Terminator, those are considered dystopian cyberpunk.
Yes.
Because of it's something that happened in the future, but the future is so dim, dystopia. Everybody's controlled by robots, and all those machine, right, is covered by human skin. So and those characters. There's another one, very famous one. We were starring Harrison Ford, which is called Blade
Runner. Yes.
Oh, Blade Runner. Okay. Yes.
There's human, there's
Ryan
practical.
Gosling, right?
Correct. Ryan Gosling is the second movie. Correct. So you see, cyberpunk itself is something that is so intriguing, but it gives you a lot of inspiration to create, because you can take any kind of thing. Even for a packet drink, you can have battery bar. You can have mechanical hands. You can even have mechanical straw that when you take the packet, the mechanical straw automatically jump out.
Yes.
So there's a lot of creativity, so-called like designs that Marc is very well known of. So as you can see, right, all these images that is popping over here is all Marc's design. So inspiration-wise, I know that you have been doing this for so long, but I would like to ask, kepo a little bit. So how do you come about to become an artist? I mean, just now we have a very short talk about your previous your schooling days, but now what was suddenly there's a turn? I mean, our viewers, right? Let's just put it very simple. Especially when you're studying, right? There will always come a day when you're facing a fork road. You do not know where you want to go.
Choices. Right?
Yeah, a lot of people nowadays, like what I said, is lost. We have a discussion, right? A lot of people is lost. Yes. They don't really know how to proceed. Marc here is a very good example. So if you are watching, listen carefully.
Okay, So I'll just go all the way back to my engineering days lah.
You can go all the way back to when you are born also can.
Okay, can.
So like how you get into this and like why in the first place, and at the point of time when you have to make those choices and what goes on in your mind.
Correct.
Because we really have to think in their minds, because I believe a lot of audience out there, they feel, but they couldn't actually articulate their feelings out. So I feel that perhaps at the point of time you could just tell them, like, you know, as much as possible be raw about how you feel at the point of time. It means like if you really so confused, so lost, or perhaps you have some fights with your parents trying to make their choices and stuff, then I think they are more than then perhaps how you overcome it at this particular age. Okay, we shall not reveal your age, but how you manage to jump from one to another. I believe people want to know that because when he shared with me that how you went from studying engineer to gym management and right now being in this, it's like wow,
it's a big turn.
It's totally lost. So please feel free to share.
Okay, so I'll just start all the way back from when I was a kid.
Okay.
I was very inspired by architectural drawings. So it really started from this line art that I saw of a new kopitiam that's actually being built up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got very intrigued by that, and I decided to, from that moment on, to pick up a pencil and try to emulate that. And it all started from there. So I remember from there it deviated into robots, it deviated into people, and then eventually into character artworks and stuff, which is something that I'm mostly comfortable with at this moment. Yeah. So then, as I stated much earlier, after a while, I went into engineering because a lot of the common narrative that is being spun around, especially if you're growing up. If you grew up here in Singapore,
you must be an engineer, be a doctor,
yes,
all those kind of very old structured type.
Very old structured.
So have you actually mentioned to yourself or to anyone that, hey, I would like to pursue that path of being an artist and you being shot down?
Yes, so I did. So back then I was much after secondary school, 16 years old, right? Then I already had my my examination results is already out. Then there was the moment of time that I can choose which path I want to go to in poly, JC, stuff like that. So I did, tell my parents that I want to be an artist, and they also know that I'm really good at drawing. But of course, I'm not blaming them, because of course they're also looking out for you when they try to advise you. Correct? Yeah, they also want to look out for your future lah. So for me, I was just thinking, okay, since I don't know much, I'm still very young, maybe I should follow what my parents tell me to do. So there was a bit of resistance. There was, a part of me that wanted to say, no, this is what I really want to do.
Okay.
But eventually, I decided not to. I decided to just go with it. It was only much later I realized that when I was in engineering, that I don't really like what I'm doing. Yeah.
Was that a realization that you got when you were in a job or during your studying?
So it's during studying at first.
Okay.
I think 2 years in, I didn't really like it. But I decided I should continue to go for it because I had a scholarship. Yeah, and
so you don't like, but yet you got a scholarship for it.
Yeah, I had a scholarship for engineering. So that was kind of like a critical point in my life, where because I'm at the point where I'm not so sure what I want to do with my life, and then here comes a letter in the mail. Hey, no scholarship, but you have to take this. Yes.
Stuff
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So most of the things are covered for lah.
Yes, correct. Really? It covered everything. Correct.
Yeah.
But with that also came a price. Okay. Even though I realized that I don't like this, but I can't turn back. It's already too late. I'm 2 years in. Correct. Signed already.
Yeah.
So I'm also bonded. I had to work in the industry after studying, and then second year in, that's not a very good sign, when you realize, oh, this is not what I want to do. Yeah. But I stuck through it. I managed to endure it, and now I'm here, free from the bond.
Actually, I was just thinking, because you mentioned about parents they have their own for a while being of course you cannot say that you can afford them for doing so, but you also have your own personal struggle and your own personal demons also, because you know that you don't actually enjoy what you actually pick, even though a lot of people telling you that one will be a bright future. But when you are actually into it, and you're doing it, you know that every day is a slouch.
Yeah.
So,
true. Yeah.
will you tell our young viewers, you know, if you really wanted to pursue art, what would be the better approach, you know, to inform their parents before this kind of similar things, you know, that is being encapsulating on them, and then they become pigeonholed into, I must become an engineer, a doctor, you know, so on and so on.
Let me rewind the time. If right now you're at this age, like what would you tell your 16-year-olds? Really, to be honest, like are you going? I would say, okay, let's go through this before you know that, or perhaps you were like, hey, fight through this, man. You really should. How will you choke yourself at the point of time?
Okay,
if there is a way, yeah.
If there is a way, I think I would tell myself to get out of your bed, please. Get out of the chair, because I remember one of the things about myself. I can't really speak for everyone at my age during that time. But for myself, I know I was also quite lazy. Yeah, I didn't actually go out to see what other opportunities there were. Yeah, but now that I've grown years later, I'm not gonna say how many years. Yeah, now that I've grown years later, I realized, you know, I should have checked, you know, because there were other opportunities that I could have taken, you know. Like I could have looked into, you know, art programs or, you know, stuff like that, like you know, like scholarships, or, you know, just go out there and see if there is a program out there that is aligned for you, you know, so that you don't have to stick yourself into one path and then you find yourself, oh, you know, this is really miserable and you don't really want to go through this path. But I think one of the things that I would advise myself would be to just, you know, to really look out for your own opportunities and don't really, you know, don't just stick to one path all the time. And to try, you know, to always just ask instead of sitting back and assume that, oh, this is what's for me. And I feel like that's one of the things that if I were to turn back the time and I can tell myself, hey, I really need you to look out for your own opportunities, because once you choose this path, it's a long time that you're being locked in there, you know. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I would tell myself.
So if I were to summarize to all the young audience out there, if you were to fight for whatever cause that you have in mind, remember to do your research first.
Yes, correct. Do your research.
Okay.
It's better you need to do research.
So once you have that bargaining chip, you have that trump card, when you have to argue, you have that trump card to show your cases to your parents.
Yes.
Then only then, you are not trying to convince them, you are just going to state the fact. So whatever that you fight for or what's not, it's not always you lose. Just remember, make that time, don't be lazy, put in all kinds of effort to find those data and evidence, present it to them and say, hey, Ma, Pa, you don't have to actually pay for any of this. This is my future. Then therefore you don't have to worry. They will be staring blankly at all this thing and they will just give it to you. So all in all, remember, do your due diligence, right?
Yes.
That's it.
So I also, one more thing that I would like to add would be to that skill that, you know, where you have your research and you have your data and you can show it to other people. I find out that years later at work, you know, or during your career, this skill is very important to have.
Yes.
You know, you don't only just want to say empty words. You don't want to throw empty words. You also want to have something to back it up. Yeah. So I feel like that is a very important skill to pick up as early as you can. And especially nowadays, we have technology, you know, right in your fingertips. Information is right at your fingertips.
Just use ChatGPT, you can all information. Yeah.
You have almost no reason to not look for your reasons.
All your case studies, all your data are all there.
Correct.
You just have to ask. You just have to ask the right question. Remember, don't be lazy. Okay, just do it. And right now, to be honest, there's no excuse for you to be lazy, because you literally just have to type, answer will be presented. You don't have to actually Google and search everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so just remember to work smart. And in the past, we always say work smart, right? But I think this is the best time to work smart. Yeah, so you can use little effort, get the best result out there, and then put out your case. I tell you, there's no way people will actually reject you or actually trying to fight back, because you have everything that's out there, and you don't have to actually just fight due to your ego or try to prove anything, right? As simple as, hey, see lor, what you want?
Yeah.
I think they understand. So like what I say, as long as you all understand one thing is, always try to make sure that you yourself is happy. Don't do things for other people just because other people told you so. Because at the end of the day, right, you will be the one who is going to take care of your own career, not your parents, not your any kind of friends or this and that. You know, sometimes we got friends say, hey, I also started this course, you should join me. But end up it's not what you wanted. Correct? Now, why put yourself through that when you're able to do something that you really like? Okay, so we are going to take a short break now, and we'll come back in the next round of questions. Okay, so once again, Marc is in the studio. Okay, and we are going to continue to bombard him more questions and see how he's going to answer. Okay, one question for you. What inspired your creative process for your art? Because like what I say, all this art you see here, very unique. Not much people can do it, but you need to have a certain type of insights in detail that you come up with this kind of design, this kind of structure. Because be it whether is it sci-fi, I think maybe it's because due to your initial studies, right? They give you this correct. That you know like which piston can work, how it functions, and how all this pressing. This is things that people don't know. People always like to try. So you see some of the artwork in Cyberpunk come up, you don't know where is it.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, doesn't make sense. But you see from the artwork, it's not this way. So let me take this chance to ask you, okay, what inspired your creative process of your artwork? And do you have any kind of like artist or film that inspire you to create your work in this kind of setting? I think a lot of our viewers would like to know.
Sure. I'll first start with the complete opposite of what you think something would inspire someone like me. For me, I would say the dullness of everyday life. But let me explain myself a bit further first. When I'm in engineering, I also almost always hear this term called over-engineer. Have you heard of this term? Okay. So basically, over-engineer means, for example, this drink, and then suddenly you see something like a battery, a battery indicator here.
Hey, that is what I said. You want to tell me, is it?
For what?
How about a camera shutter, or wings, or a booster, or suddenly there's a heater below.
Okay.
But you just want this peach tea. Don't you think that's a bit too much?
That's called 画蛇添足.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know. Thank you. Hey, I'm just trying to bring everybody into. Okay, now you know how naughty Marc is, right? Please follow him. Instagram below. Go and message him, say how naughty he is. Okay, carry on.
Sure. So basically, in the world of cyberpunk, we also always see these designs where you see human augmentations, right? Things like, you put a gun inside someone's hand. You have a sword in someone's hand. Someone's eye is looking a little bit different from, it just looks unnatural. So in that sense, I also have that feeling of over-engineered. It comes to a point where you ask yourself, are all these necessary? And these are kind of like one of the sub-questions that the genre of cyberpunk asks its viewers and asks its readers.
How human can it be?
Yes, it comes to a point where, are you still human?
Yeah.
Correct. So that is what really inspired me, because that question really intrigued me when I got into the genre of cyberpunk. So it first started with, because I'm a huge tabletop role-playing nerd. I started from Dungeons and Dragons. Have you heard of it? But eventually from there, I jumped over to Cyberpunk, which is also a tabletop role-playing game.
That was before the game, right? The game is actually based on that, right?
Correct. You're correct. It actually started from, it was based on this game called Cyberpunk 2020. And then that came with its own set of lore, with its own set of world building. And one of the best parts of why I think that game is good is because it also almost mirrors real life in a way. Because you also have the mundaneness of public transport, things like that. MRT, or the best part, you almost always have no money in the game. You're almost role-playing something that is what you would discover in real life. So, it was such a huge contrast and such a huge difference in flavor in terms of, when you play Dungeons & Dragons, you're almost always a hero, in that game. All the time, you're the hero, you slay the dragon, you slay the monster, you save the girl or something like that, right? Of course, not all adventures are like that, but when you dive into the world of cyberpunk, you come into a world that doesn't care about you. And the only person that cares about you is you. It was such a huge contrast, but I felt like it was so refreshing.
It's a very immersive gameplay, even for tabletop. Compared to Dungeons & Dragons, Cyberpunk, the game set itself, right? Too many parameters, not everybody can tahan to play finish. But those who can play finish, they walk away with something that is uniquely their own experience.
So it's real like in the game. In a way, this game is real to you. It's like it's no longer like something whereby in life you always wanted to be a hero. But in this, it's like okay.
In this, you're like number one, number two.
We got to accept whatever that is actually being brought to us, and we just suck down and just.
Yeah, but the term I would say is relatable. You know, when you have something that's relatable to you, you connect with the character. You know, you want to see the character succeed because I've been there. You know, you have that kind of conversation. You have that inner monologue within yourself. Yeah, when you're playing that character in that world, and then you're playing in a world where everything just wants to kill you. Yeah.
So talking about this, right? Like what I say, Cyberpunk is the game you play.
Yes.
So let's go back to the original topic that we asked about. Do you have any kind of specific artist or any like films or movie that actually inspire you that you wanted to dive into this world of Cyberpunk creation more?
Yes. So I would say that I'm a big anime watcher. Maybe not very big, but I watched a huge collection of movies. One of the first movies that really got me into this is Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I was really huge on it. I started with the movie, and then
wait, your movie you mean
Scarlett Johansson?
No,
the original
the anime, yes.
Anime version.
The anime, not the Scarlett Johansson one. Don't watch.
You also watch Scarlett Johansson.
I knew the anime, but Scarlett Johansson is the one that intrigues me. Like, hey, how come Hollywood?
Because that's the one where we went actually to a cinema to watch. Last time the old original one is not being shown in theater.
No, because my question is why do they bother to make a movie? If they bother to make a movie, there has to be a message, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I was like, let me find out about that message.
Yeah.
So Ghost in the Shell, Makoto Kusanagi.
Yes,
Correct.
Makoto Kusanagi.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so that one's the one that really got me started. I started watching the first movie, and then afterwards I got motivated to continue with the TV series all the way until the current Netflix anime series. Yeah. Okay. So a lot about the world, the design, and just how confident Makoto is, or Kusanagi is in her job and what she do. She, exudes that kind of that pizzazz, that femme fatale that she has. So I really liked it because of how much because she comes from a really bad background. She actually got into an accident before she got her cyber body. And in that world, there's a lot of people that are also against cybernetics and augmentics. So in a way, it's also kind of like a subcategory of racism, or like some kind of appetite, like some kind of a separation from society.
Human,
correct.
Yes.
They don't see you as full human, they see you as something else.
It's the one that that this game that we used to play called Deus Ex.
Deus Ex.
It's like human
revolution. Yeah.
This topic was being thrown there. So that's why when you are inside this cyberpunk genre, no matter what you create, right, you always bring back to the same topic.
Yeah.
Are you still human enough?
Are you still human?
That has always been the thing. So you see from his artwork, the way that he created it and the way he drew it, right, speak a lot of volume. Because like what I say, he's seen a lot of people over-engineer this and that. But his is, you are able to more or less tell why this part has been installed there for a reason. So on and so forth.
So that's a message you're trying to send out.
It's more like
or it's just like a process for you that you start to learn about yourself.
His own revolution, his own rebellious revolution.
You can say that because a lot of the themes in Cyberpunk, especially in the tabletop role-playing game itself, is about rebellion.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you live in a world where mega corporations have their fingers everywhere in the city, and you're fighting against it.
It's like Amazon becoming bad person.
I mean,
they're actually there.
In reality, it's happening. We're less human day by day, but to be honest,
correct.
Right now, day by day we're less human. I mean, that's a message that
I mean, okay, one of the things about Cyberpunk is even though you think or you're playing in a world where it's made up, but a lot of what is made up in the world is also slowly creeping into our own reality. Like,
exactly.
Have you heard of the new cybernetic implant called Neuralink?
Correct.
Yes.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk,
started with first human.
Correct. And it allowed this person who
actually move by thoughts only.
Yes, correct. He can play video games with just his thoughts.
Correct.
We are at that point where we are reaching, like we have a fictional universe that's created for a game, and then we have our own reality, and it's slowly
dripping to each other.
Yeah.
No, that is sort of like a prophecy, After we're actually matching along.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in a way, when I first heard about this cyberpunk concept, and when I started reading into it, a lot of it is like, I'm seeing how much of this is creeping into our reality and how much of this is becoming our reality. So I really liked how when the person created this genre and started building the world for cyberpunk, they had a vision, they had some kind of foresight, they were seeing way ahead. And it's coming true, you know, that's the wild part, that's what I find crazy to me. It's coming true.
So that's why right now we are going to ask a very crucial question. Okay, since we talk about all this, his ideology, all this and that, how will you categorize your own cyberpunk in terms that is easier for viewer to understand? For example, like what I talked to you just now, Gunman is dystopian, correct or not?
Yes.
Ghost in the Shell is modern. So for your own creation, how will you categorize them as? Is it near future, or is it the current existing one, or do you have your own special term that categorize your own body of work?
Okay, for me, my current line of work is very, I would say, fictional, because a lot of the ideas that is creeping into our own reality is also started as a fiction, But I think a lot of my overall message when I'm creating my artwork is, yes, this may start as fiction, but is this going to be fiction for long?
I don't think so. Since judging by what we are seeing now,
it's like the power of manifestation.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a power of manifestation. Like
too many people creating, then suddenly become real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, because once all these ideas and concepts you start to adopt it, right? You will start to see that you will start to challenge, and you start to see that it's possible. Then you keep experimenting with it. Then like-minded people will still come together. Then they will actually put in their soul and everything to make it possible. I think that's something that I think a lot of times we don't really look up to all these animators, but actually they have very very
insight.
They have their insights, and they have that visions, and it's as much as possible we are talking about this. It's like Simpsons also. Simpsons predict the future.
Not once, a few times already.
Ricky and Morty also, Ricky and Morty.
So
these are the things that I always find that But that's one funny things about all these animators is they make it humorous. Because if I were to make it too hard for you to accept everything, you might think that it's too hard to actually swallow. But in Simpsons and Ricky and Morty context, you find it enjoyable.
Yes.
Right. But the funny thing is the story wasn't being told through a professor or a doctor or what's not, but it's not through those people, And I find it very special. Why them? But not those people.
It's like a special link, you get a point.
Yeah.
People when they start to see, they will start to or something is not right. But
they get to see it, and they can create it.
Correct.
So in my when I was young, right, I always tell myself that how Dragon Ball, whereby they have this the token or something like that they press and then the house came out.
The capsule, correct.
I always wanted that in life. I always tell myself that is something.
You can always bring your house or your car along.
Literally, your caravan, all kinds of things. Your house, you just throw pop. That's it, man. And I think that's possible. I think along the way.
Yeah, it could. In the future, it could very much happen.
No, because right now we got 3D printer that can print out food.
Yeah.
We got 3D printer that can print out nylon. Nylon is something that's very hard to recreate. It can print out nylon. So can you imagine next time, like for example, you are going out for a basketball match. Hey, 1 hour before, just print out your basketball shoe. Then you can start going.
And no one is lonely already. Everyone can print out one.
The best part is what they can customize their own shoe. You do not need to be major brand like Nike, Adidas or Converse. You can have your own brand. See, like your one Michael Fly. Then Marc this kind of things. So there's a lot of possibility in this creation, which brings us to the next question. Alright everyone, welcome back. So before we let our very special friend go, okay, Marc. Okay, there's one more question I wanna ask. Just now I was talking to Michael, about this idea of this concept from cyberpunk, and why it is so scary close to the current world itself. Okay, so I would like to know if someone who is very new and wanted to pick up this skill set of learning cyber, can they actually seek assistance from you? Like can they send that? Will it be open to receiving our young viewers DM? Like for example, hey, I try to draw this character, I want to do this kind of design. Are you able to share with me some thoughts? Will it be open to this, or will you be able to come down to our studio? Then maybe we can hold a short Q&A session for you to talk with the people. And then we could also be talking about, I think we have heard from you some future project that you want. There might be some books coming out that we do not know. If you all want to get his illustration book or what, you all can comment down below. Let him know he's being loved, all your special love. Okay, then we will try to make it happen. Okay, so we'll be open to the idea for them to actually ask you, or ask you for advice, so on and so forth.
Do I even need to think about it? Of course. Yes, I will be happy to, because for art, it is something that's meant to be shared.
Yes.
Knowledge is also meant to be shared. And a lot of the problems that you see in a cyberpunk fictional story always starts with greed. And wanting to be selfish, to hoard all that things for yourself. Not just knowledge, but technology and information, everything for yourself. Insecurity. Exactly.
Yes.
So I would not like to have that kind of a future, and I would like to extend what I know to other people. So, if you want, just come down, talk to me or DM me, because I'm also very happy to find people that are very interested in the things that I do. And also, I love it when I see people trying, to do artworks, to do character drawings, and they always want to see themselves self-improve, and that also, gives us some kind of energy, I give back to you, you give back to me,
Talking about this, I want to ask you, because we did talk about it, you did tell us before, you are actually planning on selling some of your artwork as art prints, right? Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so viewers, if you all wanted to know how to purchase Marc's art print, right, we will have his link at the bottom of the description. All you need to just get in contact with him. Payment no discount, artists still need to makan one, okay? But one thing is, right, all his art print will be signed and it's very limited, meaning every design only a few prints only. Okay, so if you want, get it fast, because like what I say, his artwork is very unique and not much people is able to have this kind of creation, this kind of saturation, all this and that. But important thing today is, I know why you are here. Free gift, right? We have, okay, as you can see from here, just over his face, okay, this will be his exclusive artwork that he'll be giving out in Clinically Awesome.
Yep.
So how to get a chance to win this, because he's only providing one piece, signed edition 001 copy. Okay, all you need to do is to subscribe to our channel, like this specific episode, and use this phrase, I love Marc Tan. Don't laugh, everybody is the same. Okay, so make sure you put all this, and then once this episode air, we will start to have this lucky draw within 3 days time. Then after that, right, we will actually mail this over to you. For Singaporeans only, if you are overseas, sumimasen, okay, but we will try to give you digital copy if you are overseas. Okay, so once again, thank you so much, Marc, for coming over. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas with us. And me and Michael, we are very happy, that we are able to understand more about your way of concept. But there's one more question I still want to ask. Okay, I'm not going to tool you anymore. When will your book be coming out?
My book will be coming out.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm an artist. I design toys. I'm not more of an illustrator. I'm more of a toy designer. I will want to, purchase this book. At least I can have a reference. Give me some idea. Because every day we need inspiration. Correct or not? We need inspiration to see what we can create, so on and so on. So, will we be? I do not need to put a time now, but will we be expecting something from you maybe in the next 6 months to a year? Maybe a physical illustration book, or something that you have actually been brewing at the back end.
Yes, so I've been looking into getting out more prints. Yeah, and I will be compiling them into a book form but I would say 6 months to a year. Yeah.
Okay, so you heard 6 months to a year, and once Marc has his book released, we will invite him back here on Clinically Awesome, and also hopefully, if we can hold a book signing session for you. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice weekend. We'll see you again. My name is Soma.
My name is Michael.
My name is Marc.
Bye bye.
See you.